so that you see our work, actual work in the society. But he said you are so busy and so much involved with so many other meetings that you couldn't come at any other time except Saturday. Anyway, you're welcome to the society. I would like to introduce myself, then I would like somebody of you to introduce the group for us. So I'm Farida Ahmed. I have been working here since 1967. I was elected as Vice President to Mrs. Samiha Khalil. To remind you of her, she's the only lady that competed with Mr. Arafat in 1994 for the presidency. Then, in 1982, I was elected as a Vice President, and after the death of Mrs. Khalil, I was elected as the President of the Society. My work, our work, is voluntary. We have employees, very well qualified employees, but we, the establishers, are volunteers. And we did this, we volunteers, because our country was under occupation, and we thought it is our duty to do something for our people and our cause. And since we started a very simple and humble beginning, it was all voluntary work, so we just went on working, and years passed by. So this is the beginning of the story. So who would like to tell me something about you before I start talking about the society?
So we are with the Philanthropy Workshop West, and we are a group of Americans who are coming here to learn more about what is going on here and just to learn and absorb from what you're doing. Should we introduce? We don't have. Do you want us to share our names?
If anybody has their card other than the card that Jawad gave me, okay. If not, don't. It's okay.
Okay. We'll meet along the way. Otherwise,
I would just add that many of us here, my colleagues, are very interested in women's issues, women's rights, women's empowerment. So
this is what we do. You have here in this file our booklet where it explains our aims and goals and then our work, but I will take the opportunity, since you are here, to tell you our story, the story of إنعاش الأسرة, how we started, how we proceeded. But first of all, I would like to introduce my colleagues to you. Ms. Nahla Bseiso is the Vice President. Khalil is our manager. Hanan is responsible for our educational program. And Marlene is the Dean of our college. We have a college for medical professions, where we teach nursing, medical secretaries, and physiotherapy. The number of our students is 350 because we don't have space. If we have space, they will exceed, and they are all women. Anyway, I would like to welcome you again on behalf of my colleagues and myself. I invited my colleagues, but Leah said, don't let them waste your time. We're staying only for 15 minutes.
their time,
So-
not our time.
Their time. So I said, okay, but I wanted you to meet our committee and our advisory committee, which is also from young, educated, specialized women. But it's okay. Maybe next time we'll have more time. Anyway, in 1965, we started with working on the papers to put our aims and goals and the program of the society. It was all governmental work to take the license, to do everything like that. In 1967, and immediately after the war, we started our actual work. The first thing is Israel did after 1967, they demolished 3 villages at the Latrun area, and all the people there came to Ramallah with only the load of a mule or a donkey, and they had to live under trees without any cover over their head or anything under their feet, except those who could carry a mattress or something. And here Mrs. Khalil, the late Mrs. Khalil, asked us, you have to come now, it's our time to work. So we started our work in 1967 by asking all volunteers who wanted to work, who wanted to give a helping hand to our people, to come and join, and we started collecting from the people. The first time they gave us everything. The second time they were hesitant. The third time they couldn't because they were afraid, because they cannot support 3 villages under the trees because they don't know what is going to happen to them. Now there is occupation, and the Israelis came with very harsh measures. And until now, they never stopped, because they came with the aim of expelling the Palestinian people and erasing their culture, their heritage, demolishing their houses, confiscating their land, everything like that. So we started the work. Then we met and we said we should do something concrete for these ladies. We should teach them a profession. At that meeting, we decided to start our vocational training for women, because it takes less time and it will provide women with a profession that she can work and provide for her family. And one thing led to another. We started with a very simple sewing center. Then we had to add one center after the other. By now we have a college for medical professions. We have 2 educational programs, child education and secretarial and administrative skills, and we have 3 vocationals. One is sewing, the other is sewing by machine, and the third is beauty culture. If you ask me, why did you choose to do this? Why? We never chose. We always asked the woman, what do you want to do? We believe that to empower women, there should be a link between education and vocational training. To empower women means not only to become independent financially, right? And then independent by taking her own decisions. And she should be strong enough to defy the old traditions and habits if she has a job and she can work and she can provide for herself. So we worked on empowering women by providing them with the education, vocational training they need, so that they become income earning and able to defy the old traditions and help in building their own society and community. And side by side, we worked in 2 parallel lines. One, the educational and academic teaching, and at the same cultural program for the women. So they went side by side all through the years. They have their own cultural program and their educational program. And all our centers are recognized by the Ministry of Higher Education for the college and for the Ministry of Education for the less than that level, and the Ministry of Work, Labor, Ministry of Labor. By the years since 1967 until now, our main worry was how to provide an income to the society. Because our decision from the start was not to take money from anybody or everybody. We will never take from a country that is against the Palestinian cause. We will never say thank you for somebody who throws in our face few dollars, even few $1,000s. And then they vote and they use their veto against the Palestinian cause. This never happens. It's not a matter of money. It's a matter of pride, dignity, looking forward to be independent and teach our children and grandchildren not to sell their cause, for anything, for their rights. Our rights come first. So we had to erect our own income generating centers. First of all, they provide job opportunities for women in the area. Second, they provide us with the money we need to continue running this society. At the beginning, we started with one employee for $15 in 1967, but now we have 120 employees. And they are, most of them are highly educated, and their salaries, of course, has to be high. So, thanks God that the community admired and appreciated what we are doing, and they continue to support the society. We started in 3 rooms in a basement. Now we have 4 buildings. Each one is 4 stories. It's not much. I'm not comparing with anything outside, but for people who are trying their best to do something for their people and their country under the occupation that it's doing its best, and with the harshest measures ever against the Palestinians, I think we did well. We have now 23 projects. We have the college with 3 subjects where we teach, and we have 5 educational, child education, secretarial and administrative skills, and the vocational, sewing by machine, and beauty culture. And if you ask me, why do you keep this sewing machine, especially when China's products is filling the streets, everything, it's, you know, the products of China. But we want our people to depend on themselves. And if they ask us to keep this section open, we will keep it. And it's our pleasure and our aim and goal is to help them teach how to sew, so that they will go back to their village, to their refugee camp, and have a profession in their hand to protect them and protect their family. So this is our idea about it. We started with 1 income generating program, then now we have 6. We have a catering center, we have a salon for hairdressing, you know, and beauty culture, and we have a home productions is helping me. Home productions, we have the fees we take from the girls that can afford to pay. We don't take from those who do not pay. But our system is to take from the rich and pay for the poor, because we never had enough money. But because the people respect what we are doing, if we tell them we have 10 girls, 17 girls, 20 girls that need to be supported financially to pay their fees for the college or for the educational programs, they will give us. Because, and I'm very happy to say that the Forbes magazine last year qualified us the first in Palestine in transparency and the 7th in the Arab world. So, and before in the year 2006, we were giving the award of the Islamic Bank in Jeddah, also for the achievements for our achievements to women, education, finding job opportunities, everything we do for women. So thanks God, at least it's a reward for us, especially that we are not getting salaries and we are not getting, this is the reward that makes us happy and makes us as grateful to the community and for the people around us. We have a kindergarten and now I spoke about the income generating centers. I want you to know that at one time these centers used to cover 75 to 80% of our needs. But what happens if we are successful in making biscuits, you will find 10 other people are competing with us. So it becomes, our ability to sell becomes less. But doesn't matter, as long as we are steadfasting in our country and we were living these, though unlivable situation due to the occupation, but still being able to succeed, provide education, training, everything for our women and students, it's okay with us. That is enough, and it suffices with our aims and goals. Now we found out, living under occupation, we cannot live without giving humanitarian aid for the needy people in our country. Especially that we were left with the occupation without any government, anybody to look after us. I'm talking about the beginnings, when there was no Palestinian Authority or anybody. And even after the return of the authority, and because the authority relies on foreign aids, and it is always stipulated to say yes to everything they ask for, they never had enough money for their salaries. Even now, if you can read our newspaper, you'll see that the employees were not paid their salaries regularly because they were, the PNA cannot and could not pay for the employees' salaries. So for us, relying on our income generating centers, relying on the donations we get from the people, from the Arabs, whether in Jordan, in Kuwait, in Dubai, wherever they are, it has been great, and we were able to build this, which is considered one of the largest women institutions in Palestine. And the latest project that is now, we have finished the structure, the building, it's 4 stories, and now we are waiting for somebody to donate for us for the furniture, the kitchen, everything needed for that, so that we start operating it. And hopefully we'll get an offer within the coming month or 2, so that it will start operating on September, hopefully, inshallah, we say inshallah. The number of students that graduate until now from our society, 350, 340, it depends.
Each
I
year.
cannot be,
Each
year, of course, each year. But many are returned because we don't have enough space. Now the number of graduates now exceeded 7,600 students from all our centers through the years. But hopefully we'll be able one day to build a college and vocational training college where we can accommodate more students. One thing I did not tell you about, we saw that since 1948, our culture and heritage is threatened by the Israelis. Because the Israelis they changed everything in history. They are the owners of this land. They liberated their land. The only thing, I know many of you could be Jewish, and we believe in Judaism, and we respect Judaism. I'm a Muslim woman, and I would like to tell you something. In our first chapter, in our holy book, the last few verses, it orders us, our prophet and our God orders us to respect every prophet that preceded Islam. Now those whom you see are not proper Muslims, are not, but we, the proper Muslims, have to respect and accept all religions, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, if this is unquestionable. I remember when I was very young, I was at the Friends Girls' School in Ramallah, and the teacher said, I was maybe 10 years old, the teacher said, every Sunday you have to go to the chapel. Only Muslim girls, they have to choose. Either they join the chapel, or if they don't want, it's their right. So I didn't understand, because in our family, the issue of religion was never mentioned. Was never mentioned. So I went to my father, and I told him that the teacher said so and so. He told me, what do you mean? You have to go and you have to respect and you have to learn about Christianity. You are a Muslim and you are ordered by your religion to respect all. And don't forget that our Holy Bible is about whom? About Moses, about Jesus, about Mary, about Abraham, everybody. It's one religion, almost one religion.
Good relation with the Arab.
And it builds on good relations with the others. And now I feel the struggle that's going on, it's not religious, it is political. Let's face it, it's political. So it's not fair to accuse Muslims all to something, to a crime committed by a fool like Ibn Laden or others. We have nothing to do with this, and we hated it, and we knew that it's a start where every Christian is going to hate every Muslim. Why? We were brought up to respect each other. We lived in Palestine here, and especially in Jerusalem. My father was the mayor of Jerusalem for 7 years, and he wrote the book of the history of Jerusalem. I was very young, and I have a twin brother, that my father used to take us at 3 in the morning or 4, because he wanted to take a long, long ladder to read what is written on the stones of the wall of Jerusalem. So we used to go with him, and every Sabbath on Easter, we used to go and attend, because my father, first of all, was the mayor of Jerusalem. Then it is cultural and education and respect to all our friends and to our community. Our neighbors, who are our neighbors? Even with Jews. I remember my mother had a Jewish neighbor. She used to ask from my mother to put off the light for her on Sabbath, or do something, certain things for her, because she cannot do it herself. They used to invite us, and we used to invite them. If it was not for the war of 1948, and we discovered that they are taking our homes, they are occupying our land, they are killing our people, then we realized it's a political issue. That's what makes us enemy to each other. And I hope that you will, as Americans, we hold your government responsible for what is happening to us. Excuse me and allow me to say this. You are supporting the Israelis blindly, and you are your government, I mean, not you. And we want peace. I'm a mother and a grandmother. And it's very vital for me and important to have peace in this area. But to continue encouraging Israel to steal the land, demolish the houses, detain the people, committing war crimes against the Palestinians is not fair. And then build the settlements on our land. They took like that because Abraham, who is Abraham? God is for you, for the Jews and for us, for everybody. There is only one God in the world. But the difference is that because we were relaxed, confident, this is our land, this is our property, we never cared to build our military power, we never cared. Who is going to question our right in Jerusalem or Beersheba or wherever, or Jaffa or Haifa? We are living there. After the year 48, and you can read this in Ian's Papay book, when he wrote about 48, it was a governmental decision to expel the Palestinians and ruin every place so that the Palestinians will not find a stone to return to. I'm sorry to bother you with this. I know you want to hear about the society. But for me as a Palestinian, okay, we built and we have 23 projects, and now we have the club for on the way on to Birzeit, a daycare house for the elderly, and we're doing well. We are finding appreciation from our community, from our people. But our day by day, daily threat from the occupation is what worries us. That's why we talk 5 minutes about the society and the women and the girls. We're doing well in that area, but we cannot face the fourth power as long as America goes on pampering and blindly supporting the Israel. Israel is defying the United Nations resolutions. Israel is defying all rules of democracy. Where is the democracy? And every time, everybody wants to come and listen. You have been listening since 1948 for the misery of the Palestinian people. We have property in West Jerusalem. I was born in Beersheba. And I will tell you one incident. The Israeli soldier at the checkpoint, he looked on my identity. He said, "Are you Jewish?" I told him, "Why?" He tells me, "You were born in Beersheba." I told him, "Yes, I was born before your state was born. I was born in 1938. Your state was born after 10 years. By a decision by the United States, they paid bribes to get that decision because it's not their right. We still remember that. So I'm sorry to be tensed about the issue because we really need peace and we want peace because ultimately, this act of confrontation is going to harm everybody. The Palestinians, the Arabs, and the Israelis. Although now they are trying to make, this in the Arab world, so what? But ultimately, what is right is right. And ultimately, what you have will continue to be yours. And we're looking for a peaceful solution. We're not looking to throw the Israel. We cannot and we don't want to harm anybody. But we want a solution based on 2 states solution. Let them live, but let us live. It is our right and it's our vision, it's our dream. I am now 75 years old. Is it fair that since 1967 I haven't lived 1 year normal life because I have been living under the occupation? Is it fair? So, luckily I go to Canada and to America and I have very, very good Canadian and American friends because my husband is a doctor specialized in cardiology. He's a cardiologist and he specialized with well-known figures in America. He has papers written in the medical books. If you read, you will find his name, with Dr. Cooley, with Dr. DeBakey at that time. And we love the American people because they are closer to us than any other nation. We speak their language because we were educated in your universities and in your country. We are very close to your culture. And we think that the only country that can make peace in this area, America, if you stop bending to the blackmail of the Israelis. I'm sorry to say it, but this is the truth. You need their
We
votes.
really appreciate everything you're saying, but we really would love to see the work you're doing here too. And maybe we can continue
I have finished.
talking
I have
on that.
finished.
Thank
Look,
you so much.
Leah, let me tell you something. You want to see the work? I will show you now an example of an income generating center, our embroidery section, the museum, and the home for orphans. I will show them to you. But allow me to say, it's very important for you to give you a message so that when you go back, you speak to your friends, to your family, how much we are hurt. That's it. That's the message I want to give you.
Thank you.
Anyway, thank you. Why haven't you drink anything? Please.
We
Please
had
on biscuits.
we had a ridiculously large buffet at our lunch. So.
Where were you, at the moving pig?
Yes, it was delicious. The
They
most
have
delicious
delicious
food.
food. Yes,
I think there's the food on,
Anyway, our students, if anybody would like to comment, I would love to listen, and my colleagues as
We
well.
just came from lunch with the Prime Minister, as a matter of fact, Prime Minister Fayed, and he gave us a wonderful message of development and hope and prosperity, and he gave us a very similar message for us to take back to President Obama. So we did get some of your comments delivered many times on our visit, so we appreciate that.
Sorry to have to repeat for you, but every Palestinian is obsessed because it's our future, and the future of children and grandchildren. Anyway, let's start our visit to the centers you want to see. Here you have a booklet about the society that explains us